Hello and welcome to Pearced Off, the philosophical segment for the Skepticule Podcast with myself, Jonathan M.S. Pearce. Today I'm going to talk about something a bit different. I'm going to read some poetry actually. And this sort of came out, well, primarily I have an anthology of atheist and humanist poetry just out called Filling the Void. And it's a wonderful collection of poetry. I'm really, really proud of it, of poems from all sorts of different people from around the world, along the threaded lines of humanism and what this does and doesn't mean to the people who adhere to humanism and humanistic values. So I had a book launch recently at Blackwell's in Portsmouth, a small affair, and Paul Jenkins came along to the launch where I read a bunch of poetry, and I read one of my own poems actually in the book, which is a performance poem called The Legacy of Life, and sort of a poem that I'd like read out at my funeral, so it sort of sums up my life, or at least the way I'd like to think that my life should be going forward and will have been. And I was really touched that Paul, found something that touched him in the poem, which I think was really, really nice of him to say so. But it's also worth reading out today because actually it was partly inspired by Paul Thompson, because a couple of years ago he was talking about Pay It Forward on one of the podcasts, and this is definitely a large aspect of the poem. So it'll be interesting to see what you guys think, and it'll be great if any listeners pop out and get, well, you don't have to pop out, you can do it online and grab Filling the Void, because it is just a wonderful book of poetry in that niche of humanism and atheism. So it's kind of a rare gem, I think. Anyway, The Legacy of Life. I've packed my stuff and left the house. The lights are off, the doors are locked, and the key? It's not under that little rock anymore. I ain't coming back. I never had the knack for that supernatural crap. Whether I've had enough before the taproot of my tree of life sap ran dry, who knows? What I ask is that you use my bricks, sticks and hay to build something, starting today. Anything that can grow and foster hope. Anything to make this space we live in better able to cope. A finer place. No one likes to leave without a trace after all, so make this useful, embrace life and face it head on. Whether it be taking some words I've written or said, putting them to good use, making a pledge, or whether it be paying it forward, not just empty words but actions. They speak louder, haven't you heard? So how do you do this good, you ask, spurred on, stirred? Do 3 great kind things to people around you. A stranger, preferably, as a rule of thumb, so it becomes about the act and not a bass drum announcing what you've done. Keep stum and ask that they follow it on. And on. And on. 3 times, not 1. We need to break the sad, the mad, the bad, and make this society the best we've ever had. I know I'm just a cog in this mighty world, this magnificent ticking machine, a mechanism only partly seen by our keen, marvelling eyes, but together we can realise the opportunity we all carry to build bridges between the haves and the have-nots. Don't tarry, leave here and spot that chance to mine the quarry for the riches of goodness. Hey, it ain't easy, but just act morally. Don't be sorry, pick yourself up and do better. Be better. Don't seek for glory, take it from me, you get boring. Now, I've played my part in the lives of my wonderful family who survived me, who would drive me day upon day in their own different ways, and whose love is second to none. Don't worry, I won't bore you for them, I've got another one of these. Suffice it to say that I hope we have moulded a pair of boys emboldened to challenge and fight for what is right, and use the might of their minds to carve out lives that remind others of what possibilities can lead to. Strong and independent and finding their way through life to knowing who they are, lit by the resplendent light of knowledge and our love. Now, I've done what I've done, did some shit, had some fun. Look, it's there on the map, my journey laid out, unwavering. But I never felt trapped. Perhaps there were things I could have done more of, less of, been more attentive to, or not made a mess of. No, for sure. But no regrets. I don't like to keep the score. As with you all, I've opened up doors, played my part in the intricate universal jigsaw. Yada yada yada. Okay, stop that yawn. What's the point of what I'm saying, of this plea? I know that whatever is me will die with your memories, which will fade, you'll see. I get it, that's life, or death as may be. In these words and others, I live for just a little time, perhaps a touch more than those on your lips. This is my legacy, your memories, my writing, this rhyme. To do nothing now after reading this, well, that's a moral crime. Do better, be better. Remember this open letter, pleading for you to climb, pulling humanity with you. Though it's no burden, it's a purpose, your purpose in life's crazy circus, daring to go on, together to mighty heights. Is humanity the apex, the paragon of virtue? An evolved organism of wonder, of truth-seeking that nothing else is equal to? I don't know. To find that out, you might need a judicial review, because it could be construed to be untrue that humanity's all that in a bag of chips right now. Who cares what's now? It's already been and gone. All that matters is the course you're on, where you're going, what goal you're set upon. Let this be the domino that knocks yours, rocks your foundation, then sets out the floor on which to build your bricks, sticks and hay that create your edifice of betterment all the way to somewhere new, somewhere great, of harmony with this diverse world of humankind and beast, which of late seems so perilous, but not yet deceased. You're a part of your fate, and my final thing to state is that you own it. Your life is for you to author. Think before you write. Do it with a good pen, with clarity, and share your ink, because you'll blink and it'll be gone. So there it is. That's a legacy of life. Lots to think about in that, maybe, and things to do with atheism and humanism and purpose and supernaturalism and morality and paying it forward and all sorts of stuff, and parenthood. So I don't know, hopefully things for you to talk about, ideas to talk about. Please, again, grab Filling the Void. It's a really, really cracking book. But as ever, question everything and drop by my blog, as my blog is A Tippling Philosopher.